Okay, hi, and welcome to my strength training beginner series for women. So I'm going to run through the cycle of strength training and resistance training specifically. You might be a beginner, intermediate, specifically to women, of course. The principles are all the same through across the board through men and women, so you can adapt them. You probably found this video on YouTube or maybe through one of my links that I sent. So I want to give you as much value as I can. I kind of have a few principles that are core principles that kind of go and complete the circle that is you and that play a big part in strength training. So we're going to run through one by one. I'm going to give you some details, some very basic examples. Hopefully you can get some value out of this and it's easier to understand. Now, this is no particular order. But like I said, it is a cycle. All of it is incredibly important. So progressive overload is the first thing we are going to talk about. So I might do some annotations as we go here, just to kind of explain what I mean by that. And progressive overload basically means lifting more weights, so getting heavier. And you can progressively overload your training by either increasing weight or increasing reps. Generally, that's the main two ways you're going to progress. So if you are doing a lift, for example, 3 times 10 on a hip thrust, for example, and you've been consistently doing it for 3 times 10, you want to increase the weight and potentially drop the reps because you won't be able to do the same amount of reps at that weight. So you might do something like, and I'm going to make some easier to read, hopefully to follow annotations so you guys can follow along. So if you do 3x10 at 100 kg, and you increase it to 3x8, but you've increased the weight to 110 kg, for example. So now the goal is to increase the 110 and make it 3x10 at 110 kg. I'm struggling to type apparently today. Here we go. And then you repeat the same cycle until you do 3 times 8 at 150 and 112. Now 10 kilos is a very big jump, and on some exercises you might find that you're able to do that, and on others you might struggle to do a 5 kilo or 2 kilo jump. Some weeks will be easier, some weeks will be heavier, but that is the basic principle that you're looking for in terms of progressive overload. So try and do a bit better every session. Next principle, exercise selection. I don't want to move too much, I want to stay here, yes. A bit this way, there we go. So exercise selection matters, and also it doesn't matter. You want to keep things very simple and consistent. Consistency is key. So you want to do between 3 to 5 exercises per session. Honestly, is enough. You don't need more. So if we take a full body workout, you can run through a squat, hinge, push, press, and a pull exercise. You have 5 exercises, and that could be something like a Bulgarian split squat. It could be an RDL. It could be a chest press machine. It could be a pull-up and a core exercise. You've got 5 exercises. You've covered the whole body. Plenty. The main thing is, as long as you're focusing on this principle here, the progressive overload, this part doesn't matter so much. Exercise selection matters in the sense of, like, for example, if you have injuries or need a alternative exercise, you might hear a goose in the background, so I'm sorry for that. You might be playing or getting some water. So the only time you might need to change or vary, or specifically exercise selection might need to be changed or varied, is if you get injured and something hurts you, or hi baby, sorry, hi, he wants to play, or there's a machine that is always taken or broken in a gym, which is a common case. Sometimes the hamstring machine is always taken and you need a hamstring exercise, so it might change your hamstring workout because it doesn't fit your schedule and routine. That's honestly the main factors you would consider. Otherwise, like, priorities and consistently matter more, which we'll get onto in one of these post-it notes. The next part is workouts per week. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit, pop a little fancy pen. I don't have a whiteboard, I'm using this. I don't know if this works. We'll see if these videos grow. Hopefully they do. So 3 exercise, 3x whole body per week. I'm not even going to add anything else. I'm just going to say that. That's point. That is period. You need 3 full body strength training sessions per week. You make it, you put it in the calendar, you build a system, and you do it. No excuses, no fail. Even if you hit 2, it's better than 1, but 3 is what you're looking for. You don't need 4, you don't need 5, you don't need too much. If you want to, of course you can. You can do different splits and routines, but 3 is manageable. I'm going to leave it there, and that's it. And I'm not complicating more. Rest periods. It's an important one. This is a very important one. You want to rest properly and long enough. So rest periods are correlating. They have a correlation that are tied in directly to your progressive overload and exercise selection. So you have to lift. So if you, in order for you to progress and do this 3 times 10, 3 times 8 progression, your weights will have to be pushed, which means you will need recovery. So you will actively need 2 to 3 minutes rest between sets. Yes, that means you will sit there for 2 to 3 minutes, probably doom scrolling or staring into the wall or zoning out because the sets are so heavy. But that's the point. The set has to be so heavy and tiring that you need 2 to 3 minutes. There is a plethora of science and posts that I've done on my Instagram and social media. They'll back up the point of rest periods and that we need 2 to 3 minutes to recover optimally for hypertrophy. So work hard and rest long enough. That's what I mean. If you can do a set after 60 seconds and lift the same weight, you're not training hard enough. It's just that simple. Food. Of course, we have to get onto food. Food and calories matter. Food and calories matter. Micronutrients, macronutrients, everything matters. Biggest thing is eat carbs. And, guess what? You guessed it. Eat protein. I'm trying not to type over the microphone because I know it's a bit loud, so I'm missing some letters. Anyways, you need carbs to grow. You need carbs to fuel. You need good sessions, and they're going to be fueled by carbs. You need protein to grow. You need protein to build and repair your muscle. You need both. I've covered many nutrition videos and many nutritional points about carbs and protein and many posts on Instagram and so on, so I'm not going to get into detail too much. However, I will say eat carbs. That's where I'm going to leave it at. And last in the cycle is consistency, my favorite word. Consistency means that you are able to do all of this consistently at all times, and you have to be realistic. That is why it's important to be realistic and have systems in place. That is why we say 3 times a week with 3 to 5 exercises, with some progression, with workouts that take you 45 minutes, with 2 to 3 minutes. Because in reality, if you think about 5 exercises, each exercise, 5 exercises, you're going to do 3 sets. So that's 3 times 5, right? Yeah, 15. So you do 15 sets in total. Maths. Let's say each set takes on average 30 seconds. Maybe let's be like maths. Let's do 15. In reality, you're only exercising 15 minutes. You are resting like 25 minutes. It's actually wild when you think about it. How little stimulus you need and how little dedication you need to actually make such a massive impact on your body, anatomy, skeletal tissue, your hormones, your life, your longevity, and your body composition. So, make sure you're consistent, is what I'm saying. Don't take on too much too fast. Anyways, I hope this helped. I hope you find this useful. I will link my coaching, my guide to strength training for beginners in the bio. Any questions, leave a comment or DM me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I think that's what you say on YouTube and everywhere else. And I'll catch you in the next one.